So what I'm going to talk to you about today is your website and social networks. Alright, the one thing you're going to learn, and you're going to learn fairly quickly, is that your website is king. And that means that all the information should start on your website. Okay? Sure, Facebook, Twitter and all that are good for sending out fun things, but really you should be starting most of your work on your own website. And there's good reason for that, and historically it is borne out to be true. That if you put more effort into your website, even though you won't get the same response that you get from that nice cuddly warm feeling when somebody likes a post that you do on Facebook or Twitter or Google+, the most important thing that you can do is to take care of your own business and to control your own destiny. I mean, if you're in the whim of if you're at the hands of one of the social networks for your success, then one day when they change their business model, that could affect your business quite significantly. Okay, so let's start with a few things. Number one, when you want to write about something, write it on your website first, and then share that link, which is the URL, like the www link that directs directly to the post, and share that on your social networks. After creating the article that you do on Facebook or whatever, the actual time and effort in doing it on all the other social networks that are popular is around about 2 to 3 minutes work. So if you can't afford that time, then you shouldn't be in business. Okay, so now let's now first turn our sights to Facebook. And there's been some recent changes in the way pages are handled. Now, if you've been following your Facebook and following the news feed from Facebook, you'll realise that your reach has dropped significantly in the past month or so. And that's because Facebook has made one important change. If you're continually writing up things on Facebook and sharing it with people, no longer are those feeds now going out to subscribers unless they are playing with you, and that means liking, commenting, or sharing any of your posts. If they're not doing that with your posts, then no longer are you called relevant to them. Remember, now most people probably like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, maybe 100 different pages, maybe 200 and 300. So their news feed is getting filled with page updates. Now, there's a little bit of truth in the rumour that Facebook are trying to eventually get money out of you for your reach. Okay, so what to do? Well, again, it goes back to your own destiny and your own website. Okay, if you need Facebook for your popularity, well, then you're going to be in big trouble in the future, because Facebook is a business, and it's a business about making money. And where is it going to make its money in the future? On businesses. Okay. Now, so let's have a look at the changes. If you write posts on your page and you've got hundreds or thousands of friends, if none of them are interacting with anything that you're writing, then they'll no longer see that on their newsfeed, which basically means you're dead to them. Okay? So, you've got to do one of two things. You've got to say, okay, what am I writing? And think more about what you're writing and writing about, and make it more relevant. Okay? If all your writing is inspirational quotes, well, then get out of the business. Because if you go to your news feed, every day somebody's writing inspirational quotes. We're overloaded with inspiration. Okay? So get back to the basics about writing about things that might matter to people. Okay? Things that might excite people. Things that might challenge people. Okay? Okay? And they can be controversial, as long as they're not going to affect your business controversially. But they can be controversial takes on certain subjects. Okay, so really concentrate on what sort of information you're spreading out there. Okay, so that's Facebook. Google+. Now, Google Plus, if you're in business and you're not on Google Plus, well then really you're a bit of a lightweight. Okay. Now, Google Plus is not going to give you satisfaction immediately, but you will find over the next 2 or 3 years, every single business will be on Google Plus. Okay, and there's good reason for that. Everything on Facebook is in a closed network, which means people have to log in to see that information. While on Google Plus, that information is shared unless you make it private. If you make it a public information, it's shared on the web, which gives you more reach, especially back to your website. Okay, so set your Google profile up and then create a page for your Google business, and you can do that down here by clicking on more and creating a business page. And then you can log in and post as your business, okay? If you've got 10 businesses, you can log in and post under each different business, okay? I'm not a big fan of people with multiple businesses. I think it's always smart to have a one direct page, unless your businesses are completely different. I think it's always good to have one direct page. But you should have a profile minimum and a business page. And the business page is pretty much similar to the profile. There's a few more controls there. Okay. Next, let's turn our attention to Twitter. Nothing much has really changed in Twitter, except now you'll probably find a few promotions throughout your Twitter feed. Now, again, the Twitter news feed is you want to follow people that you really want to follow, not just for the sake of following them. Okay, and again, just continually post the articles that you post up onto your website. I'm not talking about everything. Every now and then you can post some little things directly to these networks. So let's now move to Pinterest. Now you'll note there's one big change with Pinterest, and if you go to business.pinterest.com, if you haven't already done this, you'll notice you can convert your existing account to a business account. It doesn't cost any money, and there's a few other things as well that you get with that, which you'll get widgets, okay? And the widgets allow you to create different boards and actually put them on your website. They are fairly rudimentary at the moment, and some of them require you to put some code in the body tag in the footer. Which is a pretty silly way of doing it, but they'll pick up that, and eventually you'll just be able to put the embed code in, and it will bring in the data. Okay, so what you do is you put your URL, which would be Pinterest, in my case, pinterest.com/Yakadanda, and then it will basically it will then basically I shouldn't have done that. But you can do it for for your profile, okay, and you'll see that's my profile widget, okay. All right, so that's if you want to go to Pinterest for Business. Now, the other thing that you'll see with the Pinterest for Business, you can verify your domain name, okay, and all your different accounts, okay. So you can do the verification for your domain, and that basically makes you legitimate. You'll also notice now that Instagram, if you log into Instagram and click on your profile, you'll notice that you've got profiles for Instagram as well, with a URL for your Instagram, okay? And it shows all your latest Instagram posts, okay? The final one I'm going to talk about today is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one big chest-thumping exercise. Strangely enough, LinkedIn are actually making money, but I consider them pretty darn useless. And now with Facebook going into the jobs market and having jobs boards, I see LinkedIn pretty much being irrelevant in 2 to 3 years' time. They may well be more successful in the job market, and that is an area they can grow. But it's an area of little interest unless you're looking for a job. And most of the time, people are just telling us how good they are and how good their friends are. I don't know. I just think it's quite boring. But anyway, so that's an overview of you and your social network. So just remember the points: is that your website is everything, and you should start all your information, especially news items or media releases or advanced thoughts, through your website. and then share that with all your social networks. And that means that people, if they like you, they're getting drawn back to your website to read the full article. Okay? And don't just keep it to articles. Keep it with, always try to enhance it with a nice image, even if it's an image of the local area you live in. It always gives it a little bit more depth. And then look at Google and Google Plus and getting into the Hangouts and doing videos, interesting videos, and maybe interview a few people. It's very simple to do. You can go to Google, if you just type in the search engine Google Hangouts Learn More, and you'll get a whole overview of what you can actually do with Hangouts, and it's quite interesting and could be quite beneficial to your business. Okay, all right. So that's it from me, and hopefully you've learned something here. And if you've got any questions, just make a comment.